Okay, so when I took a sociology course in high school, this textbook had this whole side section about otakus. It defines otakus as devoted fans, usually of manga, anime, or video games, and goes on to talk about how otakus represent the globalization and transnationalization of something specific to Japan. And it's true, it doesn't matter if you live in Japan, the US, Brazil, France, or India, you could enjoy the wonders of being an otaku all thanks to the internet. That regardless of citizenship, nationality, or location, you're more defined by what interests you. The final paragraph describes how otaku are both incredibly connected and disconnected from the world, but may signal a pattern for what the future will look like. Well, there you guys have it. Otakus are officially the future. We can all join the Soviet Union and rejoice that someday 2D will surpass 3D. But until then, we have to come to terms that the outside world is scary, and that this flesh prison that we call a body requires us to occasionally go outside and touch grass. Hey, this isn't so bad. Slice of life anime generally try to capture this feeling of youthful joy like going camping, forming a band, or falling in love. In doing so, the characters are younger and typically in high school due to that period of time for Japanese people being their last hurrahs of freedom before entering the real world. Adults are either just side characters or nearly non-existent. So what's more rare is for a slice of life anime to not only feature adults as the main cast, but also delve into the world of adult life. Introducing Wotakoi, which follows the romance between two otaku couples working in corporate Japan. You have your anime watcher, your gamer, your fujoshi, and your cosplayer. Now I'm not a fujoshi nor a cosplayer, but I'm by all means a gamer. And by gamer, I mean Hardstuck Silver 3 ADC support main gamer. Top 55% of the North American League of Legends ranked ladder gamer. This is how I choose to spend my free time. I really need to find a new hobby. Despite all the anime and VTubers I watch, the manga I read, and the manga altar I consume, I have a normal life to live outside of it all, and I'm sure you all do too. Whether you're in school, training, or working that Sigma male grind set, we all have responsibilities to carry out. While the title of the series translates to Love is Hard for Otaku, I feel like we can change that to Life is Hard for Otaku. Not like otakus and gamers are some oppressed demographic of people, but I'm sure all of you have done an introduction at some point in your life. And there's a single question that plagues all of us whenever you find yourself in such a setting, seeming looming above, waiting to smite your introverted husk with judgmental fury. What do you like to do for fun? Fun? I can't count the number of times that icebreaker question has come up. I feel like light trying to calculate what I can say to get out of it. There's no way I can just say, oh yeah, I like anime, these 2D characters, these drawn fictional characters, this, and this? Yeah, that's my entertainment. What do I do that's socially acceptable? Where does my time go that I can actually share and look normal? Even going to the barbers is a challenge. While they're talking about basketball and football, I'm over here thinking about Rent-A-Girlfriend, VTubers, and League. My barber will ask me, so you watch anything good on Netflix lately? Like, oh yeah, I watch Netflix, but I really only have watched anime on it. Why would I watch true crime documentaries when I could be rewatching my favorite show, Sword Art Online? Even when talking about video games, I still feel out of it. I don't play FIFA or COD, so where do I fit in? League? You want to talk about my support karma and the racist Karthus I encountered? I can't even explain League to a normal crowd without sounding like a freak. Believe me, I had to do that for a senior level statistics class, and my 73-year-old professor asked, oh, so you fight against other people? Keep in mind, this was after I had finished my presentation. I had gone through multiple slides of code and math and explaining how the game worked, and he was still stuck on the fact that other champions are other people, even if they may act like bots. Explaining a MOBA is hard enough, but when I get people asking me if League is fun and if they should actually give it a try, and I give a, well, yes, but actually no, and I show how I can play ranked for 6 hours and have a net loss of 1 LP, it's hard to put into words why I play. How am I supposed to even explain ASMR to someone? There's way too many layers. Like, oh yeah, there's this live streamer who wants to keep their privacy, so they use an anime avatar. And they also have a nice voice, so they buy these mics that have ears and make them sound like they're right next to you, and they say nice things and make you feel comfortable and that everything's gonna be okay when times get tough. And yeah, that's how I fall asleep at night. Either that or watching Tyler live streams. I think one of the most positive messages of the series comes in the first episode. Our main character Narumi and her childhood friend Hirataka are sitting at the bar, and he suggests that she should date someone that's okay with her being an otaku. Yes, that person is most likely to be an otaku as well. Does this mean that they're a fat and stinky introvert who wipes Dorito dust off their keyboard? No, and as much as we like to meme about putting figures in jars, I like to hope that they're just memes. Mainly for health reasons, but hey, you do you. The important thing is finding someone that's in love with who you actually are. Not some fake and idealized version of yourself, but the you that you're most comfortable with. Since being able to share the joys and the things you love with someone you care about is special. You don't have to hide your interest if you're surrounded by others that are into the same exact thing. Life is too short to just hide this to yourself and not have someone to share it with. You can also take the hirotaka route and just not care if people know about your interests, but it's complicated. See, the corporate world of interactions is weird. There's a weird mental conflict and tension between people wanting to know the real you and also not. There's a professional side of you that you feel like you should present, but there's that real you that also sits there. For some, that split may be seemingly non-existent, but I feel for the majority of people that isn't the case. Like, oh, you say you enjoy jogs and traveling. Maybe it's the skeptic in me, but I always wonder if that's what they're really into. Maybe there's something to be said that there are socially acceptable hobbies, and that pressure to enjoy something that the in-group likes can feel insurmountable and unfair. That despite the question meant to introduce others, break down walls, and make connections forces us to actually build up and break down fake walls, our real selves sinking away and hidden in the veil of fake normalcy. For the record, when I talk to people, I do want to get along with them. Despite being generally shy and reserved, I don't want to use that as an excuse to just become a shut-in. Rather, I'd like to be able to talk openly and freely about getting work-related things done, and doing so requires some connection. And there's an entire whole other conversation to be had about the meta of communication, how effective communication is technically fluid depending on the audience you're speaking to, but that's a different video. It's why when things like Arcane, Gura, or Attack on Titan make their way to the mainstream that I'm really happy. I don't have to pretend that I'm into those things, and it's something I can genuinely and wholeheartedly talk about. Am I still with the cool kids? No, but for at least a few weeks, I can feel like I have something to talk about at the weekly stand-up in case someone asks what I've been watching. The point is, you shouldn't be ashamed to like what you like. Life is already hard enough as it is, that we don't need the added stress of worrying that our interests aren't good enough for others. As long as your interest isn't actively hurting someone, keep on being you. Enjoy your inner circles and rabbit holes you find yourself falling into. Even if it's not something you can just openly share, when you can find people that you can share it with, that makes those relationships all the more special. That you can find people you can be your real self around. Maybe those people are your office mates. Maybe they're real life friends. Maybe they're online friends. The section I read at the beginning of the video rings true here. The internet has opened up gateways for all of us to transcend physical boundaries and just find others that are into the things that we are. Even if you feel alone and isolated, there may be someone on the other side of the globe that's into what you're into. And I think there's something beautiful in them. Wotakoi is genuinely a cute show depicting work-life romance, and it's generally refreshing to see a show with an older cast. I also have Agretzko on my plan to watch list since it has some similar themes, but if there are any other office worker anime or manga that you know about, please drop a suggestion and I'll definitely check it out. I don't think Wotakoi will get a season 2 considering the manga is already finished and what happened in the OVAs, but I highly encourage you to give the show a watch if you haven't already. Maybe someday you too can find your otaku partner. If you want that, of course. Anyway, that's all I have, so to wherever you are in the world, thank you so much for watching, and until we meet again, take care everyone.